There's a different kind of pressure जो आपको experience हो सकता है when you're sitting with somebody who's very gorgeous. Ojas!
Look at you, darling. You're more glamorous. You're wearing a lovely red outfit. I love your jacket.
Ojas, tell me, you have your makeup academy. You have your Bollywood story going along with you. Which aspect do you enjoy the most?
Yeah, I'm doing hair and makeup from 30 years. I've done Bollywood. I still do Bollywood. I still do the Ambanis, do everybody.
Yeah.
Bollywood has always played a predominant role in terms of makeup, look, styling. I always like to tell everybody is that when you believe in your style and you stick to what works for your style statement, what I did for her Urmila and Rangila, the same look which you right now to see whether it's Sutaria or
Absolutely.
Urmila was a trendsetter in terms of hair, makeup, clothes.
Tell me, what's trending amongst brides?
I think they all want to look like themselves. Like, I think we don't want to look like actors, we want to look like ourselves though. So I think this is more of the Bombay girls. But if you go towards North, yes, they still have their reference of who they want to look like.
When you were a teenager and you were realizing where you truly belonged.
When I declared to them at the age of 17 that I'm gay, because I remember when I was in college in the 11th standard, I didn't know what gay is, what homosexual is, and I that hello, I'm not as useless as you think I am. There's more to me than my body language, the way I am.
Have you worked on any OTT shows?
That I've got a call from BigBoss every time, but that's not my scene. I feel very bored with that. Plus, Salman and me have worked so much together. We have a history with Aishwarya and him and all. That's a Salman. Sometimes you poke me, I might just blurt out something you may not like. It's going to be dangerous on camera, so let's be friends, not do Big Boss.
Not the best face that you worked on.
I love Aishwarya obviously for the way she's got star, beat Indian, beat Western, beat a village girl for that matter.
Yeah.
If you even Google right now, there is a whole article of me and Aishwarya on the front page saying that Aishwarya Rai rejects a foreign makeup artist for actually play and insists on her makeup artist Ojas.
मेकअप हमारी लाइफ में बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट हो रहा है और क्यों नहीं After all, everyone wants to look beautiful. And the best way to do that is to have the best makeup artist and hairstylist as an integral part of your life, especially जब आप events की industry से है, film line से है, modeling world से है, कहीं पर भी जहाँ पर आपको public speaking and public के सामने आना होता है. खैर आजकल तो कॉर्पोरेट्स में भी ये ट्रेंड चलने लगा है दैट एनीवन हु इज़ वर्किंग एट अ सर्टेन पोजीशन जहाँ पर उनका ज़्यादा इंटरेक्शन होता है, स्टेज पर जाने का मौका मिलता है, प्रेजेंटेशंस करने पड़ते हैं, तब भी मेकअप इज़ अ नेसेसिटी. खैर मेकअप आर्टिस्ट की लाइफ कैसी होती है, वो किस तरीके से बड़े सेलिब्रिटीज़ के टैंट्रम संभाल पाते हैं और इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट के जो इंटेलेक्चुअल कॉन्वर्सेशंस है उसका हिस्सा बन पाते हैं. मेकअप आर्टिस्ट एक ऐसी पर्सनालिटी होती है जो सबके बारे में सब कुछ जानते हुए भी खामोश रहते हैं. दे आर योर ट्रू कॉन्फिडेंस. और ये मैंने देखा है हमारी इंडस्ट्री में. हम कितना भी एक दूसरे के बारे में जानते हैं, when it comes to top secrets of what a person is experiencing, they never tell you the story. But what they will definitely share with you is the fun stories that they have. And that's what we did today with Ojas Rajani. It's fun. You're going to love this podcast because here is a personality जो अपने आप में ही इतनी popular है that what can I say? She has made her niche right from Urmila in Rangila to Aishwarya. I think most of Aishwarya Rai's career has been with Ojas. And I think that is not just the only part to her life. She has a makeup academy. She is the most popular makeup artist amongst bride. And of course, she is a live wire. She has the energy that can keep you going. And I truly enjoyed chatting with her because it all comes straight from the heart. Catch up on this podcast as I chat with the most celebrated makeup artist and hairstylist, Ojas Rajani. You know, there's a different kind of pressure जो आपको experience हो सकता है when you're sitting with somebody who's very gorgeous, who is doing everything right at all times, और जिनकी जो career span है वो इतनी varied है over 3 decades, इतना कुछ कर पाते हैं, then definitely you are nervous, you're anxious about how and how much and how are you going to cover a full lifetime of glam or crazy experiences, mad stories, and success all the way. Oh, Jiz!
Look at you, darling. You're more glamorous. You're wearing a lovely red outfit. I love your jacket and I love the way you have been complimenting you non-stop. But I think it's always fun because I think whenever I've interacted, whatever little we've always hit it off so positively. I think that vibe has been so nice, touchwood. And I think I just can't get to the first time I spoke to you. Also, it was so positive. I really love that aura about you. No, and even your husband, I think he's so calm and you're like one beauty queen, So I think that whole vibe has been very nice, touchwood. I think first time when I spoke to you, suddenly something got a good vibe with you. I think we've always hit off that I could talk to you anything. We've had some silly gossip also.
True.
And it's a lot of fun. So I feel that really counts,
And nobody's ever going to believe that. I think we have crossed each other physically many times, but first time that we are actually sitting and chatting. But somehow, whether it's our conversations on Zoom or it's on phone, it's just been so amazing to just get that thing going. I think the first time was at Wow. When we interacted and when I spoke to you, I still remember clearly. And that day of the event was so hectic that I'm seeing you go on stage to present the awards and all of that. And I'm like, here is somebody who I really gelled with. By the way, let me start with some gossip since I enjoy gossiping. Me wanting to have you on a discussion, in the panel. And the topic was, work culture for equals. And I thought that I wanted to get your perspective on that. And because of that, there was somebody very close to me and very senior in the industry whom I ended up offending because that person wanted to be on that panel and that person did not even eventually come for the event and did not speak to me for many months. So आपके साथ दोस्ती मुझे बहुत भारी पड़ी है.
Oh my God, sorry for that, whoever it may be.
Just tell me, you have your makeup academy, you have your Bollywood story behind you, going along with you. You have your super influential brides that you have to cater to. You have fashion shows going on. There is just so much on the television space, movie, the big screen space, live events, all of that. Which aspect do you enjoy the most?
I think I'm somewhere down the line truly indebted to Bollywood because I've always been from childhood a Bollywood buff. So I'm doing hair and makeup from 30 years. So you can imagine how many years it is. And I think we've all grown up watching Bollywood because let's face it, not only now, but even from several decades, Bollywood has always played a predominant role in terms of makeup, looks, styling, be it an ordinary housewife, because that time there were no influencers, nothing of that sort. But I still feel when we used to watch Mumtaz, and my mother tells me I'm very critical, so I used to watch movies. There used to be an actress called Mumtaz who was very dressed, very chic, very glamorous like me. Her makeup is bang on. Mumtaz, she's wearing a normal sari, she still look like a diva, pretty, glam. There's something sexy about her, something very stylish about her. So I always feel I would always give it to Bollywood. And also, like in all my interviews, I said that I've always been Destiny's child. So I used to be a model from school time. In college, I used to win the fashion shows. I was from Sydenham College with Yash Birla. He was my classmate. And we were both declared as the most stylish icon models of our class. And that is the time when I started modeling. And I remember I bought my first house with that money when I was 24 years old. And I was very happy with that, not to show off, but in a very nice way, because, when you've grown up a little effeminate, so people always call you names, a pansy, even cousins demotivate you. So I always kind of wanted to, prove it to myself, not to the world or to anybody, but to my family, because my parents always stood by me. So I was like a horse which is blindfold, that I want to run till I prove a point that, hello, I'm not as useless as you think I am. There's more to me than my body language, the way I am.
Correct.
So I feel that is the time when I think Bollywood really inspired me because, there were certain films, certain kind of things which always pushed your limit to do this, do that, and you feel certain movie. Like I remember as a child, we saw a movie called Dosti. If you've seen that movie, I
Okay.
think if you still till date you see it, you start crying. But those values it had, or the way it was kind of showcased, or even about doing well in life. There's so many kind of standards that Bollywood has put
Yes.
across. I think Bollywood was always very kind of it's a frivolous line, but yet it kind of had its story to
Yeah.
tell.
No,
And I've been
I'm
very lucky that without kind of trying too hard, like again, I say it's thanks to my parents' blessings. And like I say, I'm Destiny's child. That
Yeah.
when I came from America after my course, the first thing I came and I went and met Suresh Natarajan just to show off this is what I've done.
Huh.
And he's saying, oh, just Urmila looking for a makeup artist. Do you want to go and meet her? I said, are you mad? I'm going back in 20 days. My boss will kill me. He's saying, just go and meet her. And I remember she had a dupe like this. And suddenly I see her walking down in Lokanwala in a apartment. And I'm sitting like one queen here with all my hair bag, makeup bag, everything. And I said, darling, do you want to do a trial? She's saying, are you crazy? You've been right by Urmila. I asked Manish about it. And look at the way you are. I don't think I need to spell the word trial at all. And that was my first debut film, Rangila, where we went to Jaisalmer to shoot the first song, that Haye Rama, which my kind of hair and
did
that
they shoot? Did you did your journey with Urmila on
started
Rangila's
that time.
with
So it's
Haye
30
Rama?
years of Urmila, yeah. So I'd never been on a Bollywood project. I'd done advertisements, I'd done ads, but I'd never gone. And for me, suddenly to go to Jaisalmer, understanding lighting, daylight, day
Yeah.
look. But luckily, I always like to tell everybody is that when you stay put on your ground, when you believe in your style and you stick to what works for your style statement,
Yeah.
what I did for her in Urmila and Rangila, the same look which you right now to see whether it's Sutaria or in Anna
Absolutely.
Pandey, that same flawless dewy base,
Yeah.
minimal makeup,
Minimal.
bouncy hair, and it's still ruling the roost.
And look how Urmila's career just yeah, zipped up, and it was because of the way she looked. Until then, I don't think she was even considered as the
But she
quintessential
had put in a lot of
Bollywood
hard work also
diva.
for the film. Her body, her whole aura, she'd I think really worked on
Absolutely.
it, and it all kind of really
It
gave her
all
what she needed.
came together in the right way in
Because she'd
that.
done 2 movies before that,
Huh.
where people never appreciated her. There was some movie with Ravi Behel, that song Jao Tum Chahi Jahan.
Yeah, I
And
love
she
that
was
song
terrible in that
weirdly.
movie. She looked bad. So I guess looks do count, and I
Yes.
think everything put together. I would not say only looks, but when things are done aesthetically correct, like
Yes.
the makeup, the hair, the styling, the
Yeah.
overall look, her hard work on her body, her
True.
dancing skills, and everything worked out. So like this
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. And I think that whole, the transition, if from looking like a simple girl in the same film, you had to also cut into scenes that made her look super glam. Tell me, how was that whole process of getting and defining the looks? And did that ever occur to you that this could actually become as huge as it became? Because I remember when Rangila released, back then there were not that many movie promotions. The film quality also made it look like it was shot years back and it's getting released now, because just they wanted to show that, typical style. And it was word of mouth. And suddenly Rangila was the film that everyone wanted to see. The songs were a rage. But obviously when you went to meet them and if you got involved in the project, was that even running on your mind? Did you really imagine this is going to be this huge?
No, we were not that sure they're going to be such a big blockbuster. But yes, we somewhere down the line, when you're actually working on a film,
Yeah.
a makeup artist, like we're all the time standing, walking the monitor, you're watching the thing actually in real life and real life. So there was something which told us that, my God, this woman is really killed her. Like if you see that one first shot of her, where like how Dimple Kapadia comes out of the ocean in Sagar. So same thing we
Sagar.
recreated with Urmila, where they've shown her working out on the beach.
Yeah, oh my.
And we saw her effort, the way and I think I'm not being biased with her, but I think out of my whole career, Sri Devi and Urmila, the people who are so goddamn focused,
Yeah.
so kind of at it that they give more than 100%, which is required, that actually you feel like, wow, women, I want to give my best.
True.
And the best thing with I call Ram Gopal Ramu, he and Shankar, my 2 directors,
Yeah.
and Ram Madhvani, the 3 people who never interfere in makeup.
Ah.
They give you just a free way, do what you want.
It's amazing.
And I think when he saw the first time of the whole, recreation happening and all, and then as a makeup artist, we feel so delighted because in one film, you get to do so many looks.
Yes.
So I think once you get that whole churn in your hand, you want to just go with the flow. And I think things just happen, and Saraswati
Yeah.
automatically kind of keeps on doing her thing. So
Yeah.
you feel very happy more than the money. I think as an artist, jo bhi, artist handwritten, like how you have your portrait behind, or a makeup artist. I think artist हमेशा तारीफ का भूखा होता है, पैसा तो नसीब से मिल ही जाता है.
बिल्कुल.
But I feel when you see that on the larger screen and when you feel, oh my God, wow, that was so worth it.
Yeah,
and I always
yeah.
tell my friend that earlier we used to all go to the theatre because we want to watch all these movies, songs, glamour.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't feel like going to the theatre because now the songs are already relating, the looks are very blah. So you don't feel anything.
True. Have you ever been a part of anything that's totally B grade, C grade without realizing, and then you're halfway into a project and you realize, ye galat ho gaya?
So I've done till date 363 films.
Oh my God.
So there have been certain low budget films, but I think in terms of my work, I've never felt that, oh my God, Menika, like Aditi Govitrika's debut movie, Dhund was there, Baz was there.
Yeah.
So we've been 100% best, but unfortunately it was produced by Ram Say or produced by certain people. So obviously their way of the direction was a little not so great. But otherwise, I think, there's nothing that I'm ashamed of or something like that. In fact, because I think every big project, be it Urmila's, Rangila, she's the one actor or actress who actually knows how to carry herself so well.
Absolutely.
Without even having gone to an English-speaking school. She always says also that, Rojas, I'm from a Marathi medium school, but she's, kind of brushed up in her vocabulary. She kind of does a lot of homework from the mirror.
Yeah.
Her walk, it's not easy, but I think she'll give any model a complex in must.
Yeah. And she stands tall. She walks tall.
And she's short. She's not really very tall. She or Malaika, they're very short.
Yes.
But I feel hard work, and I think somewhere down the line you have to have that confidence in you. Because how much ever a makeup artist may do, how much Manish Malhotra would do, but if you don't have that zing thing in you, it just doesn't come through. I mean, correct me, I'm wrong. If somebody might see me talking about this, with due respect to you, I'm sorry, but Urmila was a trendsetter in terms of hair, makeup, clothes.
Tell me, Ojas, you have worked with the most beautiful face that India has produced. Now everyone is managing to do that with various surgeries, but you have dealt with and been a part of Aishwarya's career for a very long time. Tell me, how was the experience and how did you end up meeting her for the first time?
So I think first I would love to thank the director for introducing me for her first Coca-Cola commercial.
Okay.
Because I was again, with due respect to all the Marathi artists, salute to you. There were Dada makeup artists and there were gay makeup artists. And obviously we came from the gay circuit. So obviously we were a little more refined because we've studied abroad, or maybe we used to do a lot of brush up. That time koi internet, YouTube nahi tha. We used to go to the Raddiwala and pick up magazines and study looks.
Right.
But we were so kind of forthright that we love to experiment. Like before going for a shoot, I would like to practice on my face, or my little mummy would become my dummy, or my sister would be my dummy till she was not married.
Interesting.
So we used to have a lot of fun with it, because I think makeup or any kind of job, till you don't have fun with it, you cannot really grow high in that. Because like when you really enjoy work, even sky is not the limit. There's so much, and makeup is so vast that there's so much you can do.
Yes.
So I feel when I got my first Coca-Cola ad, I was very enamored by her. And what I loved about her and Sushmita both, I think, with due respect to them, that though they just recently won the Miss World and Miss Universe, they didn't have that air about themselves. They welcomed me, so they could have asked for a trial, saying, sorry, who the hell is Ojas? We want a trial. But luckily, just because the director said, no, Ojas is fabulous, she trusted, and everything went off great. To working with director Shankar for her first film, Jeans.
Jeans.
To Devdas, to Hum De Cho Sanam, to Jodha Akbar. I think every film has been a very bonus, I would say, to work with also, because she and Sridevi love experimenting with looks.
Okay.
Although if you see Aishwarya's dressing sense was not so well accepted that time, and that's why she and Nita Lula had a backlash, poor thing.
Yes.
But she had to be always curbed with her dressing sense. If you see when she tried to do West tones, it was not so great. Like on the other hand, if you see Urmila Malaika got it bang on, more than 100%, where she was Euro 60. She and Juhi Chawla, I think, were by far the worst dress in Bollywood. But I think, yes, her face was just enough, her presence was just enough to kill it on camera.
Yeah. And then there was this entire phase where I've seen, I think, Aishwarya experiment more. How much of role did you play in terms of pushing her to do that? Because her looks in Robot was so amazing, and glam and action replay. How much of that pestering does a makeup artist really need to indulge in to give them the confidence that, you know what?
I think that every makeup, not only me of my caliber, I think every makeup, because what happens is the bonding, when an artist works on a project as an actress, she's the one who recommends you, right? Now, there is a whole article of me and Aishwarya on the front page saying that Aishwarya Rai rejects a foreign makeup artist for action replay and insists on her makeup artist Ojas, which made headlines everywhere. So because Vakil Alwani from Mumbai, it came on all the other newspapers, and everybody's calling us this one, that one. But he was trying to push her to one makeup artist who does the entire film. Now that doesn't work in Hindi cinema. Abroad, when you go, yes, they have one key makeup artist who tries to do, and all the assistants are doing otherwise, or half of them ending up doing their own makeup.
Yes.
Like Farhan Akhtar's movie with Preeti Zinta, I can't remember the movie. Same thing that
Dil Chahta
Audina, Dil Chahta Hai, where they do their own makeup because that one key girl who's just running from here, just checking on them. So I think they were not made to do that. And Aishwarya, I'm not saying she's a diva, but she is someone again who does a thorough homework for her role. Be it, we were planning the wigs, the extension, the hair. And I think why it worked to my favor was that she's seen that I do styling myself. I do hair, I do makeup. And I think I would love to take credit for Action Replay because that time Manish was two timing. He was doing Dostana on the other end in the States, and his team was helping us to do Action Replay. So there were certain times when the outfits were not so well accepted. We had to re-groom it, restyle. And luckily, somebody like me always carries one kit of mine with hair accessories, hairband, this, that. So I used to always try and mix and match things and make it be more fun, or even earrings, because the way I am girly and everything, I used to carry a lot of stuff, and I used to enjoy carrying all that. Even for brides, I carried that extra stuff because sometimes you have carried something may work but not work on camera, or they might just not look right when you aesthetically try to look at it. So I feel Action Replay, again, I would love to say, though Vipul Shah made us dance for money, we finally got our money, but I think it was worth the effort because the amount of we've done 42 looks in that film.
Wow.
And working in ND studio in that summer heat at 52 degrees, I don't salute myself because for me it was giving a short wish and then sitting in the AC van or sitting in the AC car. But the amount of junior artists which were there in that film, if you see them in the song Nakre, is that, oh my God, for them, so very 7 baje aake those wigs pehna, for the men, women or everybody. I mean, I salute them to have stayed there with those funny tight clothes because everything was of 70s. The look was Zeenat and Parveen.
Yes.
And luckily, again, I would love to say that I've grown up idolizing, worshipping Zeenat and Parveen. More than Zeenat, I love Parveen Babi. Like, I feel still very hurt that she's no more.
Yeah.
So, for me, Aishwarya knew all these girly points about me. So, she thought I fitted well. And before that, we just done Robot. So I think Robot had created like a whole wave internationally because again Shankar had worked with him for Jeans, Aparichit, Onion with Vikram and Sada, but with Shivaji, Shreya Saran. So he really kind of I done Hindustani again, if you remember that.
Yes.
Latka dikha diya humne. So again, that's a fashion show sequence. So again, the way she kind of portrayed the whole look, and which came, and Shankar was saying, oh my God, this actually looks like a runway fashion show. I don't feel we're doing anything on it. So he had that confidence in us, So he kind of just gave again a freeway. And I think Manish also outdid the clothes and then shooting in the 7 wonders of the world, Machu Picchu, Sao Paulo, Lima, Cusco, Peru. And that time. And with such mega budgets.
Yeah.
So I feel as a creative person, like since you also do weddings and you're so creative, when you see a location which is so larger than life, even your eyeballs, everything pops up and all your memory glands, everything just starts giving you ideas,
Yeah.
And a lot of time people nowadays talk about learning Brazilian makeup. I teach a lot of makeup. You see every month I'm in a seminar in different cities, and nowadays they have Brazilian makeup artists come to teach people here. But if you see that time I've done those Brazilian eyes without anybody teaching me how. It was just like something in us, I think my mom's blessing and Saraswati just doing this thing. And when we first went to Machu Picchu, the feather song, all that stuff. So that was and he's so smart. We landed at 2 PM. It takes you literally 5 days to reach Peru.
Oh.
It's a Bombay-Dubai flight, Dubai, Sao Paulo, another 15-hour flight. Sao Paulo, stay back overnight. Then you go to Lima, another chartered flight. From Lima, it goes to Cusco. From Cusco to Peru, there's a small toy train in which you go up and then you walk in the hills. And then we reached our location. And we're all ready. He's saying it's pack up. He's saying she's looking fabulous, but now the daylight is gone. Please, let's start. I said, Shankar, I want to kill you. He's saying, no, I purposely, because I want to know how the look was. I knew because you and Manisha, they don't have to worry, but I just want to make sure that she's a little skimpy and the short skirt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quite sexy, but she carried off well. And he wanted to time it because I'd love to again take credit. There was no assistant during that film.
No?
It was just me doing hair, makeup,
No.
and body pen. And Aishwarya is milk white. If I'm white, she's like 40 million times whiter than me. So to give her that whole warm tone throughout the song and maintaining continuity is not easy.
Maintaining
Plus,
continuity.
Peru is very cold.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've been to Peru, but they have these funny insects which keep on bugging you every now and then. So shit, insects bite every day. And they have these limas, the animal there. So I have a picture of mine till date, which I told then they got me a local runner assistant who was one useless character, but she was kind of playing around with the lima. And when you go close to her, she spits and the spit is blue. So your face became blue. For 5 days, that blue color didn't come out, imagine. So we had such quite bad times
Oh
also.
my God. Imagine working without an assistant, Ojas. I think.
So I have done that all my life. So that's how I think the director recommended. Even Rama Madhwani, we done the first Liril ad in Bangkok with a foreigner.
Okay.
And that foreigner for no reason was giving them tantrum. That with me she was very nice. I don't know how. I mean, thanks to my stars, I would say.
This is what,
but with the
after
I'm talking about
Preeti
23
Zinta.
years. Before Preeti Zinta.
Before Preeti Zinta.
So first they took only foreigners, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
the trend taking off Bollywood actresses came first. It would all be foreign models.
Foreign models.
And every time I remember on the beach, we had this shot that she goes out of the water and tadak, her hair comes out. Now nobody knew this trick. I don't mind on camera. A lot of people know it by now. So you put in a lot of conditioner on a comb.
Huh?
And wet the hair, then you comb it out, and the hair really looks like that Brooke Shields. You know how she comes with the water, that's sexy. So that was a trick that when you do that jhatka on slow motion or anything, you get that lovely jhatka, but the hair looks like cascading silk.
Wow.
So we knew all these tricks. So that's how I think the director loved it. And a shoot was supposed to be for 2 days. We fished in 1 day. So the production was very happy. So they took us out on a holiday because everything was paid by the client. So I think the little tips and tricks really worked your favor. And I always feel that once a director gives you a free hand in doing a look or something, once it's just to understand, like today you're a wedding planner, once you understand a bride's look, and then if she gives a free flow, obviously you'll do a fabulous job, which we've seen already.
I think that's the trick now. How you have to give space to the artists to do their job instead
to
of
churn out all the creativity that they can.
Yeah. And sometimes it's okay to allow them to experiment because you really don't know, right? Sometimes when you're doing the makeup, you don't know where you're going to possibly take it. You have something in mind, but as you're doing, I'm sure it's like, the stroke of a brush. You see something magical happening on the eyes and you'll play along with it.
Of course,
and it'll turn out to be far more creative and beautiful on the screen as well.
And everything is very spontaneous. Like a lot of people ask, when you do bride, you plan the look. I said a bride normally just sits and, we maintain a look. But it's not that we plan, kabhi bride bolga, abhi ye lagao, fir ye lagao. I said they always sit quietly and they're chilling. And like just yesterday, a bride who's come to meet me and she's getting married in Udaipur, she and a sister and a mum. And they say, okay, we met this way, they say, all that stuff started. And she says, it'll take 3 hours. How long do you take? I said, I take half an hour for makeup and 1 hour for hair and 10 minutes just for pictures and reels. She said, are you sure half an hour makeup? I said, darling, we born and brought up doing actors. You think actresses will sit for 3 hours for makeup?
3 hours, yeah.
They'll just clap you and walk out of the table. And every day when you're shooting, the producer will become bankrupt if she takes 3 hours, 4 hours. It's
to
like
do
that,
the makeup. Who has anyone done your makeup?
Not really. I fortunately acted a movie called I, which was again by
I
Shankar,
want
which
to
is
know
a mega
about this
movie.
acting
So they had got
career.
me some local makeup artist, and just to make her happy, we tried her, but I'm sorry. She was Chinese, so poor thing, they make it very powdery, very chalky, and I think that's why I think a lot of Indian makeup artists go abroad to a lot of NRI brides also, because I feel those makeup artists be fantastic with their skin types there. But to get the Indian skin tone right, I still don't know why. Imagine I've worked with J-Lo, I've worked with Beyonce, Shakira, and I asked them that how come your makeup artists are not yet fit to do an Indian artist? Because even when our Indian actors go abroad, they always carry their entourage because they're very scared to get the skin right. And even my NRI brides feel that we've done trials with them, but something doesn't work right.
Something doesn't work. Tell me what worked right with your acting instinct.
Oh my God. So that was like a shocker for me, because I think when we'd gone for the Robo, party to Chennai to celebrate because it had done very well. So we were all saying bye, and Ash was flying back because as usual she had to go home because the daughter was waiting. And Shankar took me on the side saying, we're doing a movie with Amy. And that was the first time I met Amy. I'd never met Amy. And I'd worked with Vikram. So he was very welcoming. And also, he's saying we're trying to make her also look like Aishwarya, because even they have larger than life songs and everything.
Yes.
So I said, yeah, great. He's saying, okay, now we need to talk about something. I thought he'll chew my brains for bargaining me. He's saying, no, this is the role I have for you. And, you would have. I said, are you mad? I've never acted in my life. I've done in school and college a little bit drama. But now he's saying, no, you have to just be yourself. Don't worry. I said, but I'm going to charge. He's saying, yeah, you can charge what you like. And I gave him a figure and he's saying, yeah, okay, done. We worked in 10 cities of China with strange degrees of temperature.
Oh my God.
And hats off to the team again. Everybody worked their ass off. But again, it was fun. We had Bosco also come with us over there for one of the songs, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think we were there for 48 days. And for me to survive there, my mother used to always tell me, I thought you'd come back running in because I'm pure vegetarian. They don't speak English there. they don't know what is milk, what is water called. And we used to stay in these 7-star hotels on the 80th floor in these penthouse apartments and this suite. I said, "Miss sweet mein karu kya pa?" Because the day you don't have a shoot, you're dying to eat something. Then my hairdresser was a sweetheart. She somehow sweet talks those guys. They allow us to go to the kitchen. And she used to make pulao, she used to make poha, she used to make different things. But otherwise, I don't know how we have survived. Though they had a chef come from Chennai, but then every day eating that sambar rice was like, oh God, no way. I was like fed up.
Then did you think that, okay, now acting kiya jaye, let me get into this?
I did get, I think, more than 10 offers after that project. But somewhere down the line, my father, mother made it very clear to me that, Ojas, yes, you did it out of experience. You wanted the money, you wanted the fame, you got it, but we would not like it.
My God.
And then after that, barely those offers were going away. My big boss was chasing me for 3 years. And luckily, again, Endemol is the production house. Yes. I know the directors. But I said, babe, I know you're going to try to demean characters just for your TRP, and I would not like it. I will not stand up for it. Aww. Plus, Salman and me have worked so much together. We have a history with Aishwarya and him and all. That's a Salman. Sometimes you poke me, I might just blurt out something you may not like. So it's going to be dangerous on camera. So let's be friends, not do Big Boss. And I'm very happy I did not do it because also I feel that after doing the movie I'm till date treated as a queen wherever I go for events, shows. They say, why picture ki actress or whatever. There's a lot of response, a lot of love. You should see my Instagram is filled with so much love. So I didn't want to put that off by putting that ye dekho namuna hai Big Boss mein. That's how people talk. And I spoke to Rohit Verma, I spoke to Imam, I spoke to Bobby Darling, and they said, in fact, it's just hampered their career. Yes. And if you go to see even Gautam Gulati, such a good-looking man, but there's no work for him. Yeah. So I feel actually you're just making a fool. Like, see, I was not making a fool of myself. I think the
aura of, that little mystery around you, that kind of gets dissolved with that show.
Yeah, and also I think they just, just for TRP, they're ready to stoop at any extent to remove crass and,
True. And one line in 24 hours that is said is picked out of context, It's very difficult for you to control the narrative out.
Exactly.
And you're right. It's strange, but none of them end up actually doubling up on their career.
It does nothing for their career, I would say. Like, Hina Khan is a fantastic actress, good looker.
Yeah.
But I think she just was wasted in that show.
It's so difficult, Ojas, for somebody to resist after facing the camera and
but
getting
again, I
offers.
feel it's a personal attribute that, some people are very dying to be on camera. But like I said, for me, a lot of when people talk about this, like we all have gone to great school. Our parents have been from great family. Like, we've always gone to school in a Mercedes. So now the people like Mercedes, Instagram mein dalo, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So I'm sure you and me have seen everything in life. So I feel this is too wannabe. It's too fake. And we all know what you see on Instagram is not everything the truth. Yeah. It's all blown up to a larger extent. Plus, every influencer now, like I have a jeweler friend, he was first calling a lot of influencers for his wine and cheese party. But then he saw there's no business coming because influencer ko 2-3 lakh de diya. She's had a fun high tea cheese, khaya aur bhag gaya. And then where's the business? So now they've realized that this is all very gimmicky.
Yeah. But it's still important for you, especially because of the fact that the brides, are constantly checking out Instagram. Does that become a necessity for you to keep yourself active on Instagram for the sake of the brides and the weddings?
I think it is because this is the new culture of all the brides, the new Gen Z, I would say. And especially with the NRIs, because they feel that this is the way they can reach out to the artist and communicate. So I feel, yes. But also what I feel is, yes, they do look at your Instagram, but then they also try to churn out who's worked with you, like, is there a common aspect? Like, yes, there's a bride who came to me. She realized I've done her sister-in-law's husband's makeup 10 years back. Because suddenly they were talking, she said, who did you work? And she said, and that also on a con call in front of me.
Oh my God.
So there is always a common ground which they want to, or the mother knows some design or knows some through and through. Because they always feel that they want to have that comfort, because I've heard horror stories of Delhi makeup artists that the makeup artist come, then they behave more tantrumy than an actress does, or they're very difficult with the photographer, with the wedding planner. So I feel sometimes people have realized that they need to do their groundwork properly. And also, more than anything else, I'm a Virgo, so I'm a perfectionist. So I also like to speak to my bride, whether it's on a video call or when she comes to Bombay for shopping, because I like to give her the do's and don'ts of homework, or what to do, what not to do, in terms of skin, hair, bloating issues. Because also what happens during the wedding 3 days, you'll understand there are late nights. First day, everybody sit like a queen. Second, come on, hurry up, I have one function evening, I want to chill with my... So they barely give you that half an hour, 1 hour, where you still have to create your magic.
Totally.
And then they're sloshed, the face is bloated, suddenly there's an unwanted pimple come, or some unwanted comment, some relatives are conscious about that, or something has happened. The fact that every wedding has a story to tell.
It has, and how.
How, exactly.
I think brides I have started overdoing the entire diet regime. And I think they tend to lose that entire mojo in trying to fit into that outfit.
But again, I blame it on social media because that friend was looking like a size 0, so they want to look like that, or they want to look like Alia Bhatt dancing away. But sweetheart, you are pretty the way you are. So I feel till you don't accept yourself the way you are, people are going to be commenting. Like I said, I've grown up listening to so many comments.
True.
But touch wood, thanks to my parents and the confidence that they imbibed in me, I've never got boggled by all this. Because if I was so boggled, I would not even have reached where I am. It's like that, right?
Yeah.
So and plus, this is a very, not only Indian men, even if you go abroad, happens, but in India, it happens too much that people are very opinionated. They want to kind of, pass on their opinion for you or whatever. Even for brides, ऐसी था, makeup ऐसा था, कपड़ा ऐसा नहीं. Arey, they don't rather so much you bloody spent on it. Appreciate. And if you can't appreciate, don't go for the wedding. It's like that.
And why compare the bride to a Bollywood star or
anybody in that matter, right? Everybody has their own style.
Yeah. I feel that brides and a lot of the makeup artists, especially the new ones, they get so carried away, especially in the before after. Ojas, I find it hilarious because sometimes the before after is so scary that I'm feeling bad for the husband, for the groom.
I remember I had done one bride like that, and then I realized I think this is not nice. It's very demeaning because to put her, though she was all bindas saying, no, put it up. And then her mother told me, saying, Ojas, I know my daughter's quite a number, but please you don't put this video because I don't want my friends calling me and telling me all these things, which is true because I don't think any of us want to be caught in a moment where we're not looking perfect.
Yeah.
Especially on a social media platform.
True. No, and they intentionally make the before look worse. And the after is so cakey.
But also the after one is so touched up nowadays. If you see, everything is filtered. Like the other day, this bride who came to me, she showed me some app which I didn't know of as a makeup artist. That even if you're not wearing makeup, and if you shoot a video, it looks like you're looking flawless. I'm like, babe, I didn't know about this. She's saying, yes.
Yeah. It's scary.
It's very scary.
It's dhoka.
And if you see on Google, again, there are 3 Delhi makeup artists. The top of them, who have a case going that the bride is shown a picture, देखो मैं ऐसी लग रही थी, लेकिन ये लोगों ने मुझे ऐसा बनाया filter के ऊपर. So which is quite sad,
That is sad and absolutely shocking. Tell me, do all the makeup artists, especially in the wedding fraternity, do you all have like a WhatsApp group? Like we wedding planners have a group and we are constantly chatting and talking. More to do with, say, exchange of numbers and things like that, and less to do with, say, XYZ client, because obviously the clients are not the same. Do you guys also have that kind of fun time?
Unfortunately, we don't have a WhatsApp group in our country. I would say forget India, Bombay or Delhi. Because I feel each artist has that little insecurity, which is very sad coming to that every artist feels very threatened by the other. Also, when you meet socially, they behave like best friends or they're really, fond of you or whatever. But I've seen the better story that people are not, that I don't think it will happen for another 100 years,
Oh,
because there's so much
tragic.
an influx of newer artists who are undercutting. Plus, I think people take their work far too seriously. I feel if a client is meant for you, it will come to you. Like, look at me. I'm doing hair and make from 30 years. I've done Bollywood. I still do Bollywood. I still do the Ambanis, do everybody. Like Nita Ambani, she works with me. She was Mickey. And now she also works with a few other newer makeup artists. Because when our dates are not, so we don't feel so. Because when she calls us, not every time I'm free. Like on the Miss World Day, when the last day was on the 9th of March. Suddenly her manager said, no, but she wants you only because she knows you're there. I said, babe, but I'm going to be in a very bad situation with that Miss World team. They're going to, literally kill me if I'm late by anything. Saying, no, she's planned everything for you. So it was so well planned that you don't mind. But sometimes it certainly happens that you can't manage or, multitask so much.
True.
So I guess today, if you go to see, everything is meant to be. There is enough for you on your plate.
Yeah.
And when you go with that, like my mom is a Brahma Kumari and we've been following Brahma from my birth time. So people talk about manifesting now, but she's taught this to me from my birth time. That, wake up at Amrit Vela at 3:30 a.m. and manifest good things will happen. And they teach you that today, supposing Mareesha doesn't like for some reason, or she's homophobic or whatever it may be, give her, if you say, oh, Mareesha's a bitch, Mareesha's this, then you're instigating her more towards you. But if you send lovely, loving vibrations, Mareesha that, oh, God, make her happy, give her more blessings, more than me, make her achieve first. That means you're rebounding Mareesha to become a better person, and she may not become your best friend, but at least she'll start become a very nice well-wisher of yours, which is so true. So if each one of us start thinking like that, there'll be so much of a difference in mankind.
Absolutely.
So, and also my mother used to always teach me, about it, like my sister and me, just a 1-year-old difference,
Huh.
about insecurity. Because sometimes we've
Okay.
in school, that time also we've gone through a very good, I'm from Scholar High School, Mr. from Villa Teresa, Pedro Road, from Colaba.
My
So we always had the
God.
hoity-toities coming. Even in Sydenham, I remember when we used to go, it was like a fashion
This
parade.
sobo.
But touchwood, we never felt insecure or felt any inferiority complex to others, because when we were having our niche style
Yeah.
statement or whatever, and mom also always used to tell me that, Ojas, when you ask for work, I'll butter up Mareesha, I'll butter up this production, that production. Instead of doing that, saying, आप दो हाथ वाला कौन है इंसान है, तो उसकी आप पॉलिशिंग कर रहे हो, उससे अच्छा आप 1000 हाथ वाला कौन है भगवान, उसको मस्का पॉलिश करो. He's the one who's going to make it happen eventually, right?
What a beautiful
So that was a
thought.
lovely thing which always stood strong in my mind, that yes, I'd rather pray to God. Until date, we always pray to God, and miracles happen, sweetheart. Let's face it. I'm sure when you've gone through situations where suddenly you pray to whoever you believe, and something which
Yeah.
was not even expected happens.
Happens, absolutely.
So I feel that is a very good way of looking at it than being threatened by somebody.
Yeah.
And if somebody is doing it, great, because see, clients also want to experiment. Like maybe if you're doing a family,
I think
you
so.
might be ever been a wedding planner for the brothers' wedding, but for the sisters, they might take somebody else. But
Yeah.
then they'll be able to value that, oh, wow, Mareesha was definitely one above than the other planner. Same
Yeah.
thing with the makeup artist.
True. I think that is so important, not to misunderstand why something didn't come your way. And
Look at the positive side of it. Everything
Yeah.
has a positive side.
yeah, absolutely. I think this whole industry gets very much consumed in trying to have the one-upmanship. Of course, social media has played its part. Overexposure that our brides and our clients have is also responsible, because they keep attending 20,000 weddings and they come back with stories of how XYZ has behaved and who is good and who is not good. That experience becomes their experience. They don't try to understand a story in totality. And
there's
here,
always two sides to a story.
There are always
You can't
two
just blame a
sides.
planner or a makeup artist or a decorator,
Yeah.
because there must have been certain situations, or you've changed your thoughts last minute, or you expect something bizarre to
Exactly.
happen last minute. So you cannot just be judgmental like that for any problem that happens anywhere, I feel.
That must definitely be leading you to pick and choose your clients today, because you've been there, done that. You're not chasing every client who, every query that comes to you. Do you try to catch on to a vibe of a bride, or because the date is available, you just pick up the work?
Again, I would say I'm a destiny's child, because I'm sometimes your mind plays games. We're all human beings, and there have been chances where some big luxury wedding is coming your way, and somehow she's just prolonging the confirmation, and by then you get booked for some other wedding. And then you suddenly realize that, oh my God, suppose I was getting the Mittal wedding, but instead of that I got the Ambani wedding. It's like that there's always something better happening.
Better.
And when you believe in that nature, everything makes it happen.
And you do
Instead
you
of
meet
thinking, "Arey baap re, wo 25-30 wali bride aane wali nahi aayi," like we go on in your mind, actually you're making a runaway.
right?
But when you open your avenues and your aura that knows something better is coming, and believe me, it happens.
Or just give me a few tips. This is for those of us who are not as blessed to have great skin.
Oh my God, you're all blessed. You have a lovely soul and a heart, like I've always told you this. I think because you work in a very pressured line like I do, we don't have a routine, we don't have time to look after ourselves.
Yes.
So I always tell, when this is the conversation I want to always talk about, that when I meet brides, like I'm very particular, I want to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
Is look after your skin, hair, and your health. And how that happens is by detoxifying. So again, if you want good skin, it's all about the gut. I don't think any dermat can give you good skin. It's your father, mother's genes. And now if you've seen, everybody has this PCOD issue.
Yeah.
Out of 100 brides you meet, 99 of them have this PCOD.
Yes.
So I feel it's your genes or your hormone that play.
Okay.
And that's why you have breakouts or hair fall or rough skin or XYZ, whatever happen. But yes, there are better ways to declutter that. Is obviously, I believe in pearl barley water. If you've heard of barley water.
Yeah.
So you ask your maid to make barley seeds, which are soaked overnight in the morning. Finish a bottle like how you're seeing me.
sipping.
And you actually will urinate a lot, because that kind of takes away all the stress, all the bloating issues. Most of us, you notice when we wake up, we feel our face looks like a football.
Yes.
After 2 hours, our face settles in.
Yes.
So these things actually really help. When you want to wear a nice corset, you want to look slim, again, try and do that. Come what may, have 4 cups of green tea, because not only they detox your body, but also kind of help you weight control. It's great for your skin, for your hair. Certain little things really help you.
And
Rubbing ice before doing makeup, you'll bless me. So if you've seen whether it's a Mumtaz or a Sridevi or a Urmila or an Aishwarya or a Katrina, everybody rubs ice. And now if you send Instagram, they dip their face into
What
that.
is it with
That is
that?
madness. That is, you might break your arteries or veins. Just rub a ice cube, because what happens, ice cubes actually close your pores.
Pores.
Plus जब हमें बच्चे को लग बोलते हैं ना थोड़ा बेटा आइस रब कर दे, स्वेलिंग कम हो जाएगी. तो इमेजिन चेहरे पे आइस रब कर तो कितना स्वेलिंग कम हो जाएगा. And then even if you're shooting or going out every to work, you've rubbed ice. You know, we normally sweat only in this area, but you won't sweat.
What a lovely tip. What a lovely tip. So I don't need to have an entire bowl filled with ice and
It's
water.
rubbish,
That's scary. That is scary. I'm like, why are we torturing ourselves?
And
But that's
rubbing
not
ice will
required.
also help, because in case if you're allergic to a certain product you're trying for the first time, it'll calm it down. Or any rashes sometimes get, with the brush jor se laga de, the blushes, you get that little rash, it prevents all that.
Oh my God. Interesting. Tell me, what's trending amongst brides? Are they also getting obsessed with getting their eyebrows done and their lip job done? Are they also getting insecure and wanting...
In fact, you know what? It's the other way around. I've seen this whole new influx of, 2024 to 25 booking, which I'm getting. I think they all want to look like themselves, like this thing. We don't want to wear hair extensions. We don't want to wear lenses. We don't want to look too made up.
Nice.
In fact, they're loving Deepika's and Aishwarya's Jodha Akbar and Padma will look. They say, we want to look like that. We want to look... And they want to look themselves. Earlier, there was a whole influx last year, and before that, they want to look like a particular actress. They think we don't want to look like actors, we want to look like ourselves, though. So I think this is more of the Bombay girls. But if you go towards North, yes, they still have their reference of who they want to look like. But I think the Bombay girls or more of the NRI girls are very simple in their taste. I think they're very classy and chic in their own way. Especially I deal with a lot of Sindhi brides. Or, Guju Marwari brides who are, there, who have already done for their family or whatever. So I think they are very refined and finessed in their look. They don't want to look or ape to be like an actor or do OTT makeup is the right word. And eyebrow tinting, I think, is a personal choice, because a lot of people don't have eyebrows. So they do microblading. But again, I advise them just to go for more brown tones, because I feel black sometimes looks harsher.
Yes.
If you've seen my style statement, I've never used black eyeliner till now in my career, whether it was Urmila or Aishwarya, always use a brown liner or a grey liner. And if you've noticed, that looks softer. The minute you put a black eyeliner, it starts looking a little harsh.
Oh, yes.
Or it adds age. Like, I'll give you an example. You go for a wedding and you see a bachi who's, mummy liner laga, they put that liner, that kid starts looking, if she's 12, she starts looking 18.
18, right.
So I kind of cut to all these little tips and tricks, which actually make the bride very happy. And I feel also, even if you go to a small village or a town, those brides are so starstruck about Instagram and YouTube that they have more knowledge than you and me put together about products, about this, about that. And luckily, most of them now have started getting a reality check about these filters, about this and that. So which is, I think, a blessing in disguise. Plus, you've seen there have been certain weddings. Recently, I did a very big wedding in Vienna where the bride was just a very ethereal, soft white gown, or she wore, I think, Manish Lehenga for Sangeet, but the makeup was bare there, straight hair, everything. So I feel suddenly those kind of standards are being set. And again, like I would say, I'm not trying to take credit for anybody or showing off, but if you see the Ambanis, or if you see Nayantara Kothari, who's Dhirubhai Ambani's granddaughter, Nina Kothari's daughter she is, and she's by the Hindustan Times owner, Shobna's son. So if you see, their style statement has always been very minimal. So if you see all these hi-fi, classy families, they always like less is more. They don't. Even the color palette is more peaches and pinks and beige. And they will not wear an outlandish blue or a purple and all this, because that's never been their style. So I feel suddenly now, especially of these NRI girls or even our Bombay girls who go to study abroad, they come back refined, actually, for the better, I would say.
Yeah, true. I think subtleness has its own charm.
And looks evergreen. Like, I remember my sister got married in 86. And if you see her pictures today, a lot of people think it's today's bride. Nobody believes it's, So I feel that kind of stays with you,
Right. Tell me, how is it working with... Nita Ambani, the woman, the first time? Take me through that experience.
So I've worked with Nita ma'am. The first time was 14 years ago.
Wow.
And then after that, we went in a private jet to Paris with she and Isha Ambani went because she was walking first time at Paris Fashion Week, Isha. And I remember that time, I was not so, like, if you see my pictures in my wall also, we used to have that normal camera, with that reel and all that. We used to click, but I never used to take it so, तभी इतना वो pressure नहीं था कि सबको मालूम है ओजस ने किया, ऐश्वर्या को ओजस का. So we never used to really go out of our way to talk show reel बनाओ. अभी now, in fact, I made my show reel for all my ads and movies now because it's the necessity of today's age. So otherwise, to feel like everybody knows I've done that, so why do I have to show off or do whatever? Or so many magazines to cover us. Like there are so many channels, so many, like Robot, I think every magazine to every pink villa to this one to I don't know how many if you see on YouTube, everybody had covered that.
Yeah.
So we never had, felt the necessity. So I remember when we went for the first time, even I was not trying to show off Kimberly because I used to always believe in Nazar bhi lagti, I used to always be that old school character. So I never took
I've
pictures.
been that too.
And cut to recently, if you saw during the AMAC and the Miss World,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, Nita ma'am. And I told her, I said, Nita ma'am, I've never seen you so cheerful. She actually saying, yeah, click pictures, click videos. And if you see, I'm doing her hair also,
Yeah,
she'll allow me
yeah.
everything behind the scenes. And then the next day, she's saying, apni dala nahi Instagram mein. I said, I thought you'll shoot me from it, put it, saying, no, tag me also and put it on. So I'm like, oh my God, that's so cute. And I actually put it on the first time. I'd never
Yeah.
put up a pictures before.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me, the first time that you worked for Nita ma'am, 14 years back, definitely you knew, who she is and the powerhouse. Did that play on your mind? Did that make you edgy and nervous or?
Not really, because I did Nayantara Kothari's wedding. So Dhirubhai Ambani's granddaughter is Nayantara Kothari. Dhirubhai has two daughters. One is Nina
Yes.
Kothari and one is the other lady who's in Goa. So I think I did Nayantara's wedding first, which made a whole world record in its own kind. Abu Sandeep did the entire decor, styling, everything. And
Okay.
Tarun Teliani did 2 events of that wedding. So I think that kind of look was very well appreciated again because Nayantara is a very minimal person.
Okay.
She's very shy of social media. She hates pictures. And again, she told me that, Ojas, I'm letting you take pictures for yourself. Yes, you
Yeah.
you show the world on your page, but do not go all out and publicize because I'm not that kind of a person. And I did that.
And that's
I
where
think
you
that
met.
news also flew to Nita ma'am also.
Okay.
And I think somewhere down the line, Nita ma'am is also a perfectionist like me. I think in my whole career, Shri Devi or Nita, when I first time worked on their face, I remember there's a mirror like this and she's watching me doing that. She's learning also herself. And luckily I didn't get nervous and she, after the makeup saying, oh, just koi aur hota, her hands would start shaking. I'm checking every move of yours because I like the way, people like the way I do eyes because I'm
Yeah.
very famous for eyes and hair. That's my
Yes.
USP.
Yes.
And she's saying, I've heard so much, you've done this for Aishwarya, and that's why I wanted to actually know, is it because it's your hand or is it actually Aishwarya so beautiful? I said, you met us, you should know it all.
Right.
So I think that's what made her happy that I did not get nervous, nor did I get too whatever frazzled about it. And like I said, we're old school makers. We didn't want to do too much of playing our tom-tom the way I did Ambani. That she was very disciplined, yes, is the right word, but
Sure.
she's a very encouraging person to talent. If you know,
Oh.
Manish Malhotra is under her wing now. He's under the
Yes.
Reliance wing.
Yes.
So this is what I love about her, that she taps talent and gives everybody a fair chance to kind of explore. I know from the past 14 years, there's not one Diwali where she's not sent me a gift. There's not one mango season where she's not sent me her mango, which comes from Porbandar, Jamnagar.
Oh my God.
And cut to all, I think I bow down to her because I remember in 22, my father expired Jan 4th. And in 2021, Rathi, what was that photographer? Anand Rathi was there with me in the wedding of the Ajmer Island people.
Yeah.
And on 26 August, my mother called me in the evening and I'm just finishing the Sangeet look. And she's saying, Papa has been diagnosed with severe COVID and, we need to hospital and no hospitals allowing and blah, blah, blah. And we called at least 100 hospitals. And then suddenly my hairdresser at 10:30 is telling me with my sister that, why don't you call Nita ma'am? She will maybe, and suddenly I said, should I? At 10:45, I make a call. In one ring, she picks up. I think, oh, just what? Because you never call me for any reason. What has happened? And I started crying. She's saying, relax, tell me what happened. And 10 minutes, her ambulance came. Papa was admitted in the ICU in Reliance for 17 days. For me, my parents mean the most.
My God.
I went to meet Papa and they said, you can't go in. But Nita ma'am had organized in such a way, there was a helper boy near my dad who had a cell phone of my dad where I could talk to him on video call and I could see and speak to Papa every day.
Oh my God.
On the 17th day, I get a call, Papa is being discharged. And I go with my obviously checkbook and my cash and everything. And I tell them I need to, saying, no, your father's already been discharged. You've gone in an ambulance and you don't need to pay. Imagine. And we were prepared that time if something happens to dad, we were prepared for the worst. But touch wood, he came home on September 14th and he was hale and hearty. And on 4th January, we were just talking like this on the dining table and I had a bride at 11 o'clock at ITC Parel. And my father said, I'm feeling very claustrophobic. And he's the type, if I have to leave my house at 9, he'll push me at 8 o'clock. He's that a Hitler with time. So he suddenly stopped me and we called up the doctor in video call and he's very alert. He's saying, mera creatinine itna, mera pulse itna, mera sugar itna hai. So the doctor saying, he's looking fit and fine, nothing is wrong. We want to bring him to the hospital, bring him. Literally, I live at Lodhawat, we have an ambulance down.
Yeah.
They came up and he's telling my mom, hum log aadhe ghante mein aa jayenge. And we go through the ambulance to the hospital. And the minute we get down, there's a lady doctor who takes him and she's saying, you can't come. I said, no, I have to come. She's saying, no, you can't come and relax. And when comes out in family, she thinks he's no more. I said, no, babe, you can't tell me this, that my father's no more. What will I tell my mother? I said, my mother knows that he's coming in half an hour.
Oh, no.
I called up the Brahmakumari ashram and tell them this is the way to sing. Just calm down, calm down. I called my sister, she thinks I land at 1 o'clock. I go home with the body and my mother says, Ojas, so strongly. She hugged me saying, go, your bride is waiting. I went to the bride at 11 o'clock sharp. The bride, the hair had already started. I did her eyes. She said, no, now do the eyes and leave. Let your team do the rest. And she gave me a hug and so much of love and blessing. I come home. I do Papa's funeral at 2 o'clock. After that, again, I go to Baroda with Go Bananas for another wedding.
No.
And the next evening when I come, I didn't know whether I was coming or going. I thought I would just become mentally retarded. And I remember that is the time my mother gave me so much of love. And she made me realize, don't worry, Papa is really looking after us and he wanted to see you, doing well in life and all. And she survived for a month. And then after that, my mother was complaining of a headache. And when my father expired, there was nobody with me, only my driver and my staff. But luckily, my sister was there with me when my mother, because my sister stayed back. She knew that Ojas was very vulnerable. So she stayed back. We took mommy to walk hard in the morning at 9 o'clock. At 11:30, the ICU, they call that she's completely fit and fine. You can take her home. We go there. She's saying, come here, I want to hug you. I'm very worried about you.
No.
She hugs me and she's gone.
No.
So that was the last of it. I could not take it. And then we went off to Mount Abu because we believe in Brahma Kumari. So then we did the Terwa there. And that was an eye-opener that on the 13th, all the women who were part of her life, her friends, everybody had such wonderful things to say that how much it helped people in a Gupt way or whether any. And they said, there was a letter for me. So me and my sister removed some cash that we want to give them, saying, Ojas ji, आपको कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है. आपकी मम्मी ने देखो यहाँ 10 envelopes है. सब ashram, like whether it's for Mount Abu or the Kolaba Center, everything is done. And there's a letter for you where she written that, Ojas, I love you so much and you don't know how special you are. And you always been there for us. You've never been selfish. And I've cleared everything for you. Don't have to worry. I don't mind my child suffering anything about this. And just be the way you are. We love you so much that me and Papa are always going to guide you from up. And till date, I feel that they're blessing me every day. Trust me. Any question, any query, I speak to the universe, there's an answer. Sorry, I'm really sorry about
this. That's a lot that you went through in a matter of few months.
2 months, imagine.
So
I feel that, Bhagwan Dushman ko bhi ye din na lakha because they were my pillar of strength, my friend, my partner. I could share anything with them. They had given me that freedom and that so much of love that they had. All my friends, my makeup assistant, my team, my academy, everybody knew them. In fact, every day they would send lunch from my house to the academy because in my house we don't get onion garlic also.
Yeah.
But the time had come and then I could not accept it. So the Brahmakumaris made me cry out one fine day. They said, just cry it out, then we'll explain to you. They're saying, would you want to see your father suffering on the hospital bed or would you want to see your mother in the ICU? And then they showed me some examples. Luckily in Lodha Button, there's one guy who was just an 18-year-old good looker guy who was jogging on the sea link with his mother. And he just suddenly got a heart attack and he died. So saying, Ojas, the time had come, they had to go. There was nothing that you could stop them.
Have you tried reflecting on that moment when you realize your dad is no more, but you still chose to go for that event and do that bride? Do you think you were still in a sense of denial, not wanting to accept that that's no more?
Very much, because I remember that night my team told me, my son was there with me and my hairdresser was there. I don't even know what time I slept and I'd gone to the washroom just to brush my teeth at, I think, 11 o'clock in the night, and somehow apparently I fainted there. And at 7 o'clock, these girls were going to go for breakfast, so they were knocking my door. It was not opening, so they got worried. They asked housekeeping to open the door, and they saw me on the floor. So it was a little tough time because I think my father was my hero. I think both of them have been my pillar of strength from childhood. So it was very. I could not accept it until date. A lot of people laugh at me because I sleep one day in my father's room, one day in my mom's room, one day I sleep in my room. And I watch Anupama serial and Ye Rishta Ka Kehlata beat every day of my life, whether I'm in Bombay at home or I'm in a hotel room. I would watch on Hotstar because they used to watch it. So it makes me feel that they're around me. Because imagine coming home to an empty house. I have such a big house, but I go home, it's empty.
Oh my gosh.
I have to have dinner alone on my table. Earlier, we used to have all dinner together.
Oh my God.
So it's a little difficult. But then that's why I think my parents know that they don't want me to suffer. So they keep me so busy.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about insecure. But मुझे एक दिन ऐसा मिलता नहीं कि मैं सोचूं कि हाँ insecurity आए. Because suddenly something or the other is in line that I don't have time.
Yeah. And do you think this whole, I of course everyone loves their parents, but I see a different kind of love and attachment, more than love and attachment that you have with your parents for you to feel this way and remember them. Because I know just whenever we speak, you end up talking about it. I don't know if your friends have pointed this out to you, but they are a very strong part of every conversation of yours. Do you think this also stems from the fact that when you were a teenager and you were realizing, on a physical level and an emotional level where you truly belonged, do you think they also had to muster the courage to not just take sides?
Definitely, because I think when I declared to them at the age of 17 that I'm gay, because I remember when I was in college in the 11th standard, I didn't know what gay is, what homosexual is. And when I went to college for the first year, I met a few common friends who were closet gays. And they made me realize that, there's nothing wrong. This is the way it is. And when I went and confided my parents, obviously my mom's a little taken aback because she was a Brahmkumari, but my father was actually from Rangoon, Burma, and he's lived his life quite a bit abroad. So he's quite modern at his thinking. But imagine for him to convince my mom, and my father was the eldest son, and they had their own inhibitions, their target that we want our son to be like that. So I don't know if anybody knows, but I'm a Chadakan by profession. I completed my ICW, my CA. I worked as a CA for 1 year in Andheri, from town to Andheri. And I remember that time also there was a lot of homophobia. I'm talking about 32 years ago.
Oh my.
So by the way, I'm 56 years old and I don't look it, but I am.
And
I don't hide my age. I don't feel embarrassed.
Why did you give your age out? I was going to add 30. I was going to genuinely say 30. You keep saying your career is of 30 years, but honestly, that would have been a good number for you. But here you are flaunting your age.
So this is the way.
And you decided to talk to them together about the way you felt? Wow. And how
we've
long?
grown up watching movies. I remember that time we used to have a black and white TV when we were school. Then suddenly the black and white TV started getting a colored screen which upar se aap laga. And we used to watch all these movies. There was a song. I don't know if you've seen this movie. You must show your son. It's a very special movie called Takdeer, where there's a song, Saat Samandar Paar Ke Gudiyon ke Bazaar Se Achhi Si Gudiya Lana Gudiya Chahe Na Lana Papa Jaldi Aa Jana. So it has been very close to our heart because, my father also used to travel so much. So we used to actually look after that Papa should be around, Mummy should be around. It was not, like I said, even our vacations or more than friends, I think even our friends to come home or whatever. So like I said, my father and mother to be there for me, whether it was my college admission. I remember when I started doing makeup, the union had this issue that boys can only do hair and girls can do, boys can do makeup and girls can do hair.
Yeah.
I remember my mother came with me to the union, and my mother is a very sweet talker. So she's saying, see, this is the very time, why would you do that? And I remember that man was so influenced by mother. He's saying, no, here's the card, we don't have an issue. So they have been with me through thick and thin. I remember during actually Vipul Shah's payment was pending, she was the one who had to make it happen. So, they've been with me through so many incidents, so how can I even forget them? They've never forgotten me any day.
No, absolutely.
So, for me to forget them is just impossible.
And the fact that you are every day mustering the courage to be in that same house where you have the best memories with them, to wake up to an empty space, I can't even imagine, but they're just blessing you to keep you shining all the time.
Definitely,
Ojas.
I feel that. Definitely.
All the time. I think your sensitivity is so exceptional, Ojas, because I have met and interacted with a lot of people, especially from the makeup and hair fraternity, where I have seen them treat a junior level or a newcomer so differently. Versus when that same person becomes a name, and establishes themselves. But you are not that. You have genuinely been yourself with everyone whom you've interacted with. You have never undermined an average-looking bride just because you do Aishwarya's makeup and you're working with the Ambani family. Does this quality make you the great teacher that you are in the academy that you run?
Again, I think that's again thanks to Mom that I never had these insecurities. A lot of people ask me that I've so many times I've trained more than 60,000 makeup students, and I've sent so many people in weddings. I remember my first sister went to Canada for a wedding, Bangkok, Hong Kong. So I've never had that insecurity because what I feel, what I can give, nobody can give, and. You should always remember this, that in a month, if you get 20 queries, out of that, 10 are going to book you, 10 may not book you.
Sure.
The 10 which may book you also not necessarily that you are going to be free, because in our wedding schedules, there are certain very precious dates where the whole world is getting married. So you're anyways booked on those dates.
Yeah. 60,000 students that's insane a number.
So I also have done a lot of outstation seminars,
Of
events,
course.
whatever. I have a
Which
franchise
is-
in Singapore and in Malaysia because thanks to again the movie, I have a lot of South Indian fan base.
Yeah.
So there also there's a lot of awareness for makeup, hair, and somewhere around the line they idolize you, they love you.
Yeah.
And I show them because see now there are so many. There's a very famous Sindhi wedding planner in Malaysia also. She calls me, but I'm sure you must be knowing
Okay.
what I'm talking about. So even she sometimes says, "Roja, everybody cannot budget to fly you. So can we call your team?" But it's a goodwill you're earning. And what my mother used to always tell me, that said, Rojas, all these good things are happening because you're collecting so much of bonus of good vibes, so much of dua.
My
और बुरे
God.
टाइम में सिर्फ दुआ काम आती, कोई पैसा, कोई शूशा, कोई कांटेक्ट, कुछ काम नहीं
कुछ
आता.
नहीं आता
Like
है.
for my father's time, I
Yeah.
told you, suddenly this miracle happened, which I never even thought would happen.
Ojas, I run the wedding school, where I'm showered with love. It's a great kick to be able to teach the next gen. And like you said, not get insecure. Let there be more of them coming into the game. There are always these special connections that we, develop with random people who come to us because they want to learn from us. But eventually they become a very strong part of our life. I've experienced this firsthand with a lot of my students. Have you had a similar experience? And tell me, from all these multiple students, so many, thousands of
I think
them.
there are so many memorable, memoirs that they send you or give you.
Yeah.
And a few of them special ones are that there's a whole wall of fame which is made by them in my academy also, which I think your team has covered up.
How?
Because they were saying, ma'am, आप लोग कुछ Instagram में ये क्यों नहीं डालते, वो क्यों नहीं डालते, ये like, Cannes Fest, I've been Cannes back to back 5 years in a row. And I've not put it on, because I never found the importance of doing it that time. Until now, I've never put it on. But they're saying no, so they've created a whole collage of it, that this is where you're gone. I've done so many world tours, like I've done more than 14 world tours, be it Priyanka Chopra, Katrina, Deepika, Aishwarya, Ravina, Sushmita, Pooja Batra, Mahima Chaudhary from other actors, so many of them. But that time I think we never had that importance of doing so much of Shusha, but now because it is so, definitely have created a wall of fame for that in my Bandra Academy. But my most prize and something which is very close to my heart is this girl whose father used to be a wedding photographer, and she also came and learned hair and makeup from me. I don't know what happened one fine saying, oh, just can I come to your academy? I wanted some snippets of what all you've done. She didn't tell me nothing. Okay. So she came and clicked pictures of my magazine covers with Abu Sandeep, my Aishwarya's first Coca-cola, blah, blah, everything. And suddenly she came to me after 25 days with a huge painting. Huge is like really huge. And it's in my living room, which is my whole journey, that how I first went abroad. तो पहले हमारे ज़माने में kids, that foreign return का बहुत था, especially वो America, जहाँ मैं, I don't know, as if America is some heaven that you come from, which people never realize. So I remember it starts with saying foreign return, welcome home. And I remember we all say "aw" and "oh" and all, but that was the moment, because what happens, me being gay, being a social taboo, and suddenly having achieved that all and come back was a very big slap on the detractors' faces, because I done over there the Baywatch series, So if you remember, Baywatch had Pamela Anderson and Brandy Roderick.
Yes, of course.
Now, Brandy Roderick is an actress who acted with Ritesh Deshmukh and Vashu Bhagnani's first movie called Out of Control. Imagine. So I remember when that movie is happening, Vashu called me to his office saying that there's an actress called Brandy who worked, and she's saying she only wants you. So, but this is the way we can't afford it. I said, no, you'll have. And then she made sure that I was there in the film. And luckily, that ended up doing the entire, there was 2 actors, Rishita Bhatt, she and Ritesh. And I ended up doing that film, which was very good. So I think she's captured that. Then she's captured Aishwarya's first Coke ad. So it shows Aishwarya's whole first Coke. Then Urmila's Rangila. To Malaika's first, I would love to add to this, which we've not spoken about, is that you would tell me that if you believe in yourself and अगर आपकी नसीब में लिखा है तो कल बॉम्ब भी फूटेगा तो भी आप वहां पहुंचोगे, आप काम कर सकोगे, which is I am saying I've been there, done it all. That I remember I used to do a lot of ads, and there's a production house which you might be knowing called Optimistic Films, run by Mr. Sanjeev Sharma.
Absolutely.
And he also had an ad company called Palette Communication.
Yes.
And we've done a lot of ads with every actress, you name it. And I never worked with Malaika. I don't know how. After doing so much with Urmila, I never got a chance to work with Malaika. So I used to always watch, if you've seen, pehle MTV grind karke aata tha Sundays ko with Malaika on the ball, gyrating in the swimming pool.
Sexy.
And I was always saying, why the hell have I not got a chance to work with her?
Right.
And cut to on Monday morning, Sanjeev Singh just come to my office. We have an ad happening of Dum Pan Masala with Divakar Pundir and Malaika. There's good news and bad news. I said, don't give me the good news first, give me the bad news first. He said, "Go take it." He thinks she doesn't want you to do her makeup. She only wants you to style because she knew I do hair, makeup, and costume styling because she has her own team of makeup artists and who she's come to. I'm like, okay. I go on Monday afternoon to the Love Line set at Lopez. And Seher Bedi was the producer, no? She's Kabir Bedi's sister or whatever.
Okay.
So I'm like, hi darling, ye wo, and I go with my tailor, I do her measurements, and I remember I made her a similar tube dress which was in a golden beige. And I took her fittings. The next day, I got the outfit done, the shoes, the accessories, and she was very happy. So I'm very surprised that nobody got my trial. Ek time mein perfect. So great, I'll see you on Saturday as a shoot. It was 3 days, Saturday, Sunday shoot at Mukesh Mills. And Ravi used to work under Sanjeev. So he thinks, tera makeup hair bag to gaadi mein rehta hai. And I said, haan. He said, you never know what miracle God may do. And I told mom and dad this. So mom, dad saying, Ojas, agar tere liye hoga na, so Malaika will come from any world and tell you that do my makeup. And cut to that date till now, I must have done with Malaika at least 3 world tours. I mean, I remember she and Aishwarya have said in some of the interviews that even if we know that Ojas, even in her sleep, she'll do a fantastic job.
So now, does that leave you much time for Bollywood and that kind of glam work with your brides and your own academy? Do you get time to still take up movies?
So I basically try and do one movie in 2 years. And sometimes because of budgets also, what nowadays the new trend in movies that they do the look test with you. You set the look, like even for, what is that, Hira Mandi, I set the look. So again, because Bhansali had worked with me, Guzarish also so much, Sanjay with Aishwarya. So Guzarish was the biggest challenge because it was a very depressing movie. I remember within the 20th day, I was like, God, what is every day going to Mehboob Sin coming? And it was like, I don't know what life was. It was very depressing.
Totally.
But again, Sanjay is a very... he's like me, he's a perfectionist. He likes everything on screen. He'll check them out, he'll check this, he'll check the like. So it's a lot of fun working with him. And when Hira Mandi thing had happened with me, because I'd done Aditi Rawari's first ad film, so when she's very fond of me. I worked with Sonakshi for the Jilly campaign of Jude. I've done a lot of work with the song. So somehow he said, Ojas, if you can't do it, it's okay, but come in for the song bit, come in for some special sequence. I just did the setting of the look. I did one song and cut to look at again, ironically, that I was doing the Miss World where Hira Mandi's team and Hira Mandi did the entire fashion show with the Miss World.
Yes.
So again, it worked so great. Now again, I met Rimple Harpreet there, luckily. And because of that, something else transcended. Because they like your nature, they like your behavior.
Totally.
Because everybody's watching. You might think nobody's watching you, but I think this high-handed behavior of showing off shusha or trying to feel importance doesn't work.
Doesn't work. Tell me, I'm a big fan of Sanjay Leela Bhansali, purely because of the way he's able to scale things up. He's able to visualize how he could transform a person. Like I think Alia Bhatt is one person I would have least thought of casting in a movie like Gangu Bhai, but he convinced all of us that she was just the right person to do it. How has your experience been working with him? Guzarish vis-a-vis Hira Mandi, how was it?
I think Sanjay, I sometimes your cracks on his face because I remember in the song
You
Udi,
really
Udi,
tell him that?
You know that song Udi Udi is there?
Yeah.
Now we have that maroonish black rose in the hair.
Yeah.
And we must have tried all the lipsticks of red, maroon, everything. He's saying, no, I still want more. Then he took a black kajal pencil and he put it on her lips with that maroon pencil and he actually liked the color. So every time I'm putting Aishwarya's lipstick, I have to add a little kala pencil to get that effect, imagine.
Oh my God, so he is crazy.
So he is like that. But once he's happy, he is such a divine person to work with because like I feel certain directors like him or like Rama, whoever worked in the past, like Ramu or Shankar, you know, when you give it to them and you know that this is what he wants and you exactly deliver, even you feel so good about it because see, like a lot of students of mine, they are talking, hum log bhi itna ghanta kahan. I said, darling, aap Bollywood project mein aake ek din kaam karoge, aap bhag jaoge.
Exactly.
Because hair and makeup, even everybody comes later on, heroine and the makeup artist come first. Whether it's ad or a movie.
So
and you want her ready at 8 o'clock means we have to start at 6 o'clock, means I'm leaving my house at 4:30. Now, every day doing that back and forth is not easy.
Totally.
Because that makes you consistent, it makes you a perfectionist, make you value time.
Yeah.
And you understand everything, daylight, yellow light, white light, all kinds of makeup. How long does a makeup brand last? Like a lot of brides tell me, but apne fixer nahi use kiya, apne ye nahi kiya, apne what products? I said, darling, I'm sorry, I'm sure you'd agree with me since you've done music videos.
Yeah.
And I openly challenge everybody on the camera, it's not about the products, it's about your technique. When I did Rangila, there was no MAC, Bobbi Brown, Laura Mercier, nothing was there.
None of it.
What have we used? We use Chinese brands or we use Yardley, like my mother used to use Yardley and Max Factor. And that's what we've grown up using.
Absolutely.
And today I'm very proud. I just shot a Max Factor campaign and Priyanka Chopra has been roped into be the brand ambassador for Mac because they heard my story.
Right.
They were very happy. So it's officially come to India now.
Okay.
But till date, if I'm given a choice, I think Max Factor works great. And I'm sure you worked on a project that makeup एक बार होता है, फिर उसके बाद आप खाली puff करते हो laugh line.
Yeah.
The same thing with the brides. A lot of brides say, no, but मेरा skin makeup खा जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा. I said, darling, there are ways of doing it. And nowadays there's a new trend of using a fixer. It actually backfires.
Is it?
So what happens once you've done your makeup flawlessly?
Yeah.
If you put a fixer, the fixer is going to take up the extra coat. So थोड़े time के बाद आपका skin dull लगने लगता है, pores shine आ जाती है, काला लगने लगता है, which is called oxidizing.
Yeah.
So why would you put a fixer? And all these are what fixer have you used?
Yeah.
And still the makeup has looked flawless.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's all in the mind because
In
see,
the mind.
every day people are going to come up with your brand,
Yeah.
your thing, but it's also gimmicky.
It is. Also, it's got to do with excessive information, na? Which is partly understood and mostly misunderstood.
Yeah. Like when we go for a bride or an actor, we carry this huge suitcase full of some 100 products, but गिन चुन कम 5 ही चीज यूज करते हैं. I remember my brush kit. I barely use 7 brushes, but I have 40 brushes because of दिखावा.
Yeah.
Because this actor, वो आपके पास वो नहीं है. I said, मेरे पास ये, वो तुम्हारे मेरे पास वो है क्या? ये है. All these brands they play, but it's just a name game.
It is.
By the end of the day, you need only so much to do makeup.
Yeah.
Like there are certain times when we do brides or actresses, we hardly need so much foundation and concealer.
Tell me, current Bollywood diva whose makeup you'd like to do.
I love Tara Sutaria. Worked with her for Bombay Times Fashion, and I think it has been one of the best work I've done with her.
Okay.
And after again, we transitioned doing an ad campaign. In fact, unfortunately, whenever she's called me for a movie project, my dates have never been, because she normally calls you in September or November, and those are times when we have brides or my academy. So now what I have done is that I've thankfully chalked my diary in such a way that I do 2 or 3 courses in India, in Bombay, in my academy, which are in the off season. Rest of the time to Bollywood, and then I think bridal season, where right from October to Feb, March, I do not take up any project.
Yeah.
We have to do billing, we have to do our income tax, we have to do our investment, we have to do this, we have to do that, and I'm all alone. So right from ordering ration to bread, but everything I'm doing, whether it's for the academy, whether it's for my Lodha house. Plus, you have to check on everything also. Like you can't just leave everything to your staff.
No, absolutely.
So there's a lot of backlog, homework, doing accounts for your assistants, about this, about that, TDS, GST. Which is like a never-ending process.
I don't think it's anymore a game of an individual. I think you are running a legit entity, a business. It is not what it used to be.
Yeah,
that,
of course. Now we have to declare everything, and there's so much to remember.
Plus your
Suddenly there's a
staff.
query after 2.5 years. Ye kiska paisa hai? Ye kya? I'm like, oh God, and that my dad used to do. So I feel the pinch so badly that Papa used to have an answer like this.
Yeah.
And for me, suddenly it's like rocket science, which is coming to me now.
True. Tell me, OTT. Have you worked on any OTT shows? Would that excite you?
Not really, though I was telling you that I've got a call from BigBoss every time, but that's not my scene. I feel very bored with that.
Yeah.
I've done a look, I've set a whole look for web series.
Yeah.
But then again, I think my team was not very well treated on them because the budgets are a little constrained, the payments are a little constrained. So then they kind of chose to, kind of not continue. We did one schedule and we said, no, sorry, it's not up.
Thank God.
Kind of.
It's important to have dignity at your workplace.
Yeah, because sometimes they treat the team bad enough. I'm not, then if they're being treated badly, then I feel guilty or how it is. So I don't want to kind of have a situation to deal with where again I'm answered at every call and also.
Okay. Tell me, which is the face that you feel has been, the best face that you've worked on?
It'll be very unfair to say
I
one.
know.
But so many. I think I love Aishwarya obviously for the way she's versatile, be it Indian, be it Western, be it a village girl for that matter.
Yeah.
She kind of carries it bang
Are you in touch with her?
Yes, very much.
Yeah. Tell me what's next, because clearly when we speak of The Show Must Go On, I think there could not have been a more brave move and a more professional human being than you to have mustered the courage to finish the job in spite of losing your own father. I think there cannot be a better example of what a professional, really needs to be like. In your professional capacity, when we speak of The Show Must Go On, what is it that would now excite Ojas?
I feel I've kept my avenues very open. And like I said, I always tell myself that I'm guarded by angels, and especially my mom and dad. Because
True.
And I feel the more newer challenges come, I think it's a lot of fun for a makeup artist also.
Yeah, true.
Like I told him go to America for this wedding. Now because of that, a new door's open that I'm getting in mid-August to do the Mrs. USA contest there.
Oh my God.
Only thing I'll have to come back to Bombay and then go back.
So many beauty queens. How are you going to manage, Ojas?
But I think you've been there, done that. You've handled tantrums. You've put
I think
people.
it's fun working under pressure because whoever can do Bollywood, I
Yeah.
think no. I tell brides all are nothing.
Yeah.
If you can handle a Bollywood actress, the tantrum, there's a diva-ness which is there in them.
Yeah.
And after that, she told her whole circle to that whole paragraph that I don't know whether my mother or my sister would have handled me better or just. So I always feel that if you are calm, because see, we all have our moments,
Yeah.
right? And especially a bride is so vulnerable in that situation because poor things, there's so much happening to her anyway, emotionally, physically, people's expectation, husband's expectation, that you have to calm down and listen. And my mom's always taught me to play a listening ear first. So I feel when you do that, half the battle is won.
Is one. My God, that's really going to be the key if you want to achieve the kind of success that Ojas has got. It is your nature that plays the most important role. How you treat others is the way you get treated. And I think having the magnanimity to forgive and forget is something that I have learned from you, because if you can ignore tantrums and just do your job, I'm sure that person also dissolves in their being and eventually gives in to your goodness. Ojas, it's been fantastic chatting with you.
Thank you so much.
And through you, I feel I have actually got a chance to meet your parents who made you the wonderful person that you are. And stay this way and please stay in Bollywood, because I really think they need you desperately.
Definitely.
Thank you for chatting
so
with
much.
us.
I truly love you so much. God bless you, my John. Thank you.
Thank
for
you,
having me.
Ojas.
Didn't you feel like all the notions that you carry, the assumptions that we carry, कि ग्लैमर इंडस्ट्री से जो भी कनेक्टेड होता है वो बस अपने में ही मगन होता है? ये सोच जो है ना हमारी कितनी गलत है, ये ओजस रजानी ने आज मुझे सिखाया है. She's managed to actually have a super successful career of 30 years. ये बहुत बड़ा achievement है. और सबसे मज़ेदार बात ये है कि आज भी वो उतनी ही शिद्दत के साथ अपना काम करती है. And she's ready to help produce so many more makeup artists and stylists in our country. I think our industry definitely needs more of such Ojas Rajanis. Great at heart, kind at soul, ever smiling, looking gorgeous, feeling young, and wanting to celebrate life.